Hello guys, my name is Madhur and welcome to my channel. This is the 31st tutorial in the series of tutorials on Unix shell scripting. In this tutorial, we're going to discuss files, and by that I mean we're going to study the different types of files and how to run file checks in shell scripts. So files can be character files. The files that you create through your text editor are character files, and they can be block special files. And block special files are files that have binary code in them, like image files or video files, right? And there are a lot of other attributes that you can associate with your files, such as permissions, right? Whether you have read permission or write permission or execute permission to the file, and whether the size of the file is greater than 0 or not, right? Or if the file is a directory file. In Unix, all directories are also treated as files. So if I would bring up my home folder here for you guys, then this folder here, documents, is a folder, but it is treated as a file, right? So it's a directory file. And then I have this shell script here, which is a character special file, right? And if I show you this file, this is a file with the extension .dbf, and this file cannot be opened through my text editor, so this is a block special file. And if I would create an empty file here, then that would be a file with size 0. So that is it. I mean, you guys know the various kind of files that can be, and you also are aware of file extensions and how extensions make differences to the file types, right? So I'm not gonna bore you guys further on it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a shell script and show you guys how to run checks on files. So what the script is gonna do is it's gonna ask the user to input a name, and it's gonna check whether the name that has been input is the name of a file in the home folder, right? It has to be the name of a file, not a directory. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use echo to display a message like enter a name, right? And I'll put a colon at the end and the /c escape sequence. On the next line, I'll use read to store that name in a variable fname. Okay. On the next line, I'm going to use my square brackets again, and I'm going to check whether the name that has been input is the name of a file. And the way I do that is by using the option -f. So if I put in -f space $fname, which is the name of my which is the name that has been just provided to me by my user, then the shell would check whether a file exists of this name or not. And if it does, then it would display a message, because I'm gonna put this thing in an if block, right? So on the next line would come the keyword then, and I would display a message like you indeed entered a file name, right? And if it isn't a file but something else, let's say if it's a directory, then it would display another message like echo don't provide me crazy inputs. All right, and then I'll close my if block by typing the keyword fi. I'll save this file. I've already saved it. It's called file-test.sh and it's in my home folder. So I'll bring up my terminal here. Now I'll execute the file. It asks me for a name, right? So if I type in music, which is not a file but a directory, in my home folder and press the enter key, then it displays this message to me, don't provide me crazy inputs. But let me first create a file using touch, and I'll call it test, and then clear the terminal and execute the script, and this time I'll provide the name test as the input. And when I press the enter key, it tells me that you indeed entered a file name because I've just created the file test, right? But if in my file I wanted to check not for files but for directories, then all I would have to do is change the -f option to -d, right? So if I would make this modification, then if I execute my script and now provide the name music, then it would tell me that you indeed entered a file name, and it doesn't tell me that I provided some crazy input, right? So there you go. To check for files, you use the option -f. To check for directories, you use the option -d. And there are a lot of other options that you have, you know, at your disposal if you're running file checks. For example, to check for character special files, you use -C. To check for block special files such as images or video files, you use the option -B. And to check whether you have read permission, you use -R. For write permission, you use -W, and for execute permission, you use -X. Okay, and am I missing something? Yes, of course I am. If you want to check whether the size of your file is greater than 0 or not, then you would use the option -S, right? And this is probably something that I'll show you guys because it's very important. So what this if statement is going to do is it's going to check whether the file $fname has a size greater than 0 or not. If it has a size greater than 0, then we'll get into the if block and we'll display a message, something like the size of the file is greater than 0. Okay, cool. And if the size is not greater than 0, then well, we'll just let it be. Don't provide me crazy inputs, okay? Because we don't have time to change that. So I'll clear my terminal and I'll execute the script and I'll provide the name test, the empty file that I just created using touch. And it tells me that don't provide me crazy inputs. However, if I would use cat and input some text in my file test, something like random, and then press Ctrl D. I just wanted to type in some text in my file so that its size becomes greater than 0. I'll clear the terminal, execute the script again, and provide the name test as input, and this time you can see that it tells me that the size of the file is greater than 0. So there you go, you've learned to use the -S option, the -F, -D option, and it's your assignment. You have to create a file and play with the other options that I mentioned. That is the -R, W, and X, and also the -C and -B options, right? So if you practice all those options in your shell scripts, then you'll be a pro at running file checks. And that's all I wanted to talk about in this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial, and please subscribe to my channel.